Welcome to Raygo Chess. This is the road to 1000 ELO. I'm currently on 910. We haven't been doing too bad. We've had a bit of a stroke of luck here and there. In fact, not the last game, the one before. I was pretty proud of that game. They're all on the YouTube channel. You can watch them if you want to go back. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a subscriber already, thank you. Hit the like button. This is 30-minute rapids. If you're new here, you might learn something. You might not. We're just an average guy who's been playing. I spoke to my dad. And my dad's saying 18 months he reckons I've been playing. So, without further ado, let's get into this. We're playing a 786 ELO. Let's try and take advantage of that. We're just going to stick to the old principles and develop our pieces. Try and fight for the middle just to begin with. Not going to use any particular opening. Like I say, just developing our pieces for now. So you're looking to hop in there. So if I just hop here, I've threatened to block that and also take this pawn. I'm expecting bishop. Wasn't really expecting that. I don't know what the purpose of that is, but let's try and take advantage of it. Come out the second knight. Looking to push the e-pawn, get the bishop out, however far we want to take it. Get the short castle in. My dad reckons I should give the castle some breathing point just to eliminate the thought of any kind of back rank check or anything like that. So if I take this now and you take, I take. That does nothing for me. If I hop in now and you take, I take. Is that necessary? What's the threat? What are you doing? If you hop in there, you're looking to come down here. I can take unless you bring this bishop out, which we don't really want. So maybe that's why he's pushed this, because he's thinking the same sort of thing with my knight. But if I bring this knight in, threatening this knight, maybe you will just take. But then again, you could just push. What if I just push this pawn and just sort of stop all of that from happening? Prevent the knight from coming in. If you are new here, I don't really know openings and stuff. Like, I've had a dabble in like the Italian, Sicilian, Stonewall. So I know bits and bobs about that, but I don't know the ins and outs totally. So now I'm thinking we just push here. Maybe bring out the bishop. If he wants to take, we can take it with the queen. If I was to pull forward, he's just got too many attackers on that square, which I don't really like. Yeah, let's just push this pawn and activate this bishop. I have blocked in this bishop, to be fair, but I'm not too bothered about that just now. I say we offer up the bishop trade. If he ignores it, I'll probably ignore it for now and just get R. What? What if I take with this? Hang on. Take. Nothing. Take. You'll fork me. Take. Let's fight fire with fire for a second. If you take at this point, come up with the queen. Or do I just come back with the knight? Could just come back with the knight and save ourselves doubling up the pawns. Okay. What is happening? It's like he's scared to take a piece. Okay, I'm thinking take this knight because he would have to double up his pawns to be able to take back. And once he's done that, it weakens this side for one. And then we get our castle in. Let's just cause him to break principles quickly. Now if he was to take, we can take with the queen. So let's just get our castle in quick. If he hops in, we can take. So I'm not too bothered about that. Where are you going? What if I threaten this bishop? Let's threaten the bishop, give the king some breathing space. Activate our rook. Try and get our final piece into the game. That also prevents his knight from coming in. Considering pushing this and quickly freeing the bishop. Again, I'm just... Okay. So now I'm thinking we take... And the only way for him to take again is to double up his pawns. I was speaking to my dad on the phone as well before. And, you know, he is on average between 700 and 800 ELO. He is competitive against me when we do play. I win some, he wins some. So we sort of each of us caddies like in golf. And one thing he did say, because obviously I say you're not really going to learn much watching me, but then he made me realise that, you know, there are some people who I might actually be able to give some advice to that, you know, watch my channel. And one of them things is, if you're going to take a piece, right, you need to ask yourself the question, like, what benefit does that have for me? So if he was to take my piece, I could take with the queen. And that the only benefits I get from there is I don't, you know, disrupt my pawn structure. If I take his piece now, the only way for him to take is to double up his pawns, and that's why I'm going to take it. It eliminates both of our bishops, but he comes off worse because he doubles up his pawns. Now I could push my queen forward, hit this, put him in check. I've ruined his ability to check. I could even hit that pawn, and then, you know, his whole side's damaged. So I think that's what we're going to do. I like this pawn being here because it prevents his knight from coming in. So the only place his knight could go is like on the rim. what could he do with this? Well, you can't go there because I can take. You can't go there because I can take. And you can't really go there because I can take. So you can't go there because I can take. And you can't go there, I can take. So really your pieces have rendered useless. So at this point, you're probably going to either move that, or you could castle, but it's not really going to protect you too much, especially when I come in and do what I'm going to do. And that's why I'm happy to move this queen, because before I make his move, and this is another thing that my dad was saying, that I've sort of taught him without realizing, it's just the way that I play. There's like a method that these people teach you to play with, these GMs, and it's sort of like capture, check, and something else, and it's like the 3 C's or whatever. I can't even reiterate them to you because I don't know them. But one thing I do know is I can always remember to ask the question, what are you doing? When he moves that piece, what are you doing? So before I do anything else, I need to evaluate what this piece is doing that he's just moved. That way I can sort of get the gist of his thought process. His thought process is, well, protect this. He's also, in doing that, removed the ability to castle because now he's moved his king. Yeah, I can't take this, but we caused him to do something. I can't go there because of this knight. I can't take that knight because of this piece. I would like to get this pawn to there because then I'm obviously forking these 2 pieces. I can't do that just yet. So I'm thinking maybe push this piece, but then the problem with that is I blocked my queen. There's no escape route for my queen. So before I do that, I want to get my queen back to safety, and then we'll start thinking about the next attack. So that one, a wasted move. We know already, because we did the calculations before, that these pieces are rendered useless right now, and we haven't moved any of our old pieces. So we know that that principle still stands. So I'm thinking push this. If you take, I basically take with this pawn. I also free up the rook with the idea of pushing the next pawn forward again and forking these 2. That's the idea backed by this. So that's my thought process. Not only that, but I freed up this bishop. So that one move, I push forward, you take, I take, free up the rook. If you take with your knight at that point, I'll just take with my queen. Or I could take with this knight and apply pressure to the rook. Knight's on the rim of Grim. So I push forward now. Where can you go? You can't go there because I can take. You can't go there because I can take. And you can't go there because I can take. So right now, we're basically about to win a bishop because he's blocked it in. And we should be able to take it with a pawn. And if he comes down with his knight, we'll take his knight with the pawn. And then we'll get the bishop after. So I don't really know what he's going to do at this point, to be honest. Maybe that weren't too shabby-chavvy, to be fair. If I move here, you come in, I take. You come in, I take. You come in, I take. I think that sort of gets us out of trouble for now. If we just move there. If you drop this pawn, you remove the guards. If you drop that pawn, it's all too late. Hop in, take. Hop in, take. Hop in, take. hop in, take. Bishop's still trapped. Can I do anything else in the meantime? Maybe I just push this forward and hit his knight first. His bishop's not going anywhere. We've established that. So if I hop in here, where are you going to put the knight? Saying that, you could probably put it there at that point. So we're not going to do that. That's getting greedy. So maybe we just take the bishop. You're going to probably take with the queen rather than... Well, yeah, it wouldn't make sense to do that anyway. So take the bishop. After that, maybe I drop here and just try and start trading pieces, because we'll be up a piece at that point. Bishop gone. Drop. Threatening his knight. That or that is his best option if he wants to save it. If not, we're happy to trade, because that's another thing. If in case you didn't know, if you're ever a piece up, which we are because we've got two of his pieces, two bishops and a knight, you want to trade pieces. So obviously we're going to come in and the odds are he's going to come down with his queen. That's fine. Actually, 1 second. Is there anything else I can do quickly? I feel like our best bet is to, let's just get rid. Let's get rid. He's going to really struggle to checkmate me with just his queen. But what we have to do at this point is make sure we always remain a piece up. So the last thing we want to do once he takes this bishop is lose our advantage. Also, at this point, we're going to be looking to activate our rooks, which he will also be looking to do. So he's got 2 cross pawns. Now he's only got 1. I say we keep the king safe for now. There's nowhere for our knight to really get involved just yet. However, with the knight being here, backed, it does give us the ability to hop in here if we need to. This pawn also backs this, so I'm thinking we activate this rook now. Maybe push it forward and start creating some sort of barrier straight down this E file. Not a barrier, what's it called? A battering? Something like that. Like I say, I'm no expert. A battery, I think it's called. Something like that anyway. Another thing we could do. So he's threatening this. So I'm thinking we just push forwards. Or is it... Yeah, let's push forward for now. I kind of like the idea if we hop here and then hop here, back by this pawn, puts you in check. You're going to have to... And then if you were stupid enough to move up, and then I hop in here, forking you. It's a bit of a long-winded one, but it might work. Hop in here. And then, actually, if I was to push up here first, that would sort of stop the king from being able to come this way, which means you'd have to push up. Saying that, you could just go there. Not only that, but you could drop this. Seen it coming, did you? Hop in. What if I continue with this battery for now? Is that what it's called? Battery? Leave it in the comments. If I bring this under and I hit this pawn, you're going to have to take the queen. But do I want to lose 2 rooks for a queen? Okay. If I hit that, you hit, then I take you again. I don't really like the sound of that. But what if I hop in now? Threaten this. What if I hop up to cause you to either take or push and free up my queen down this rank? Because that queen can't really go anywhere, can it? As long as that pawn remains. Let's free up this side. You push. And then I take, you could push, to be fair. But then if your queen moves anyway, you remove the guards. Saying that, if I take that and then you take the rooks free. So I don't really like the sound of that. You take, I take. That might have been the wrong move, that. I take, you take, I take. Will I be better off? Is two trucks? Is 2 rooks worth a queen? Actually, what if I hop in here? Hop in there first, then hop up, put pressure on, then you take, and then I take. That's the one. That's the one. Right there. I'll swap a rook and a knight for your queen. But I ain't swapping 2 rooks. Only crooks swap 2 rooks. What? What does that mean? I don't know. Shut up. Bang in the dirt is gone. Bang in the dirt is gone. Bang in the dirt is, bang in the dirt is, bang in the dirt is gone. He smelt what the rock was cooking. He didn't like what was going on in the kitchen. Let's do a game review. Are you mad? Man played with a 90.5% accuracy. And it played like a 1600 rated ELO. How are we only at 915? I only gained 5 ELO from that win. Nah, you're a crook. Chess.com, you're a crook. Let's start.
A classic way to start the game. Pawns meet in the center, building on their control of the center with an early knight move. This move activates your knight to strengthen control over the center. They played one of the best moves here. You are bringing your knight into play. Their knight comes into play, supporting. This is a fine move. Their bishop comes into play, supporting the center. This move opens the path for your bishop to enter the game. They made one of the top moves in this position.
Top moves?
You offered your opponent an opportunity to exchange pieces of equal value.
Yeah, because if he would have took, what does he gain? Nothing. So in a way, he did the right thing there.
Your opponent moves their bishop to escape your attack.
I think his plan for that was maybe I hop in with the knight and he takes forking me. You always want to be careful whenever you've got two pieces like that of a pawn incoming on the file in front. I still fall for it, but you want to try and be careful of it.
You created a Pillsbury knight, a strong attacking knight defended by... This move clears the way to bring their bishop into the game.
Again, still not really beneficial for me to take at this point because if I take, you take, there's just no point. There wasn't enough there.
You are forcing your opponent to double pawns.
Oh, that was another thing. I'm sacrificing a piece. Well, I'm not really sacrificing it. I'm taking it, but I'm gaining. Double the
exchange
pawns.
Pieces of equal value.
Weak that whole side.
Good
whole
job
file
stepping in to
open.
defend your pawn. Your opponent prepares to castle king. You kicked your opponent's piece from that square.
And that's another thing. Always consider your half of the pitch, like football. This is your half of the field. So when the strikers are in your half of the field, what do? You defend, don't you? Because you know that the threat's in your half of the field. So always beware of the striker in your half of the field.
They move the bishop to safety.
At this point, same SP that we did over here. Now it's worth me taking, isn't it?
You are forcing your opponent a straightforward recapture.
That's the only thing you could take with. All of a sudden, these two files, he's got no pawns on.
It's important to get all your pieces off their starting squares and into the action.
That it took me a long time to realize the importance of a pawn. Literally, I'm talking 12 months of playing a good solid year. I still had zero respect for the capability of a pawn. You need to be thinking, these are soldiers. They may only be able to move one square forward. They may only be able to take one square at a time sideways. But the importance of a pawn just holding a position is everything. You know what I mean? So when you're just taking it, yeah, you're blocking the pawn behind it, but really you're doing a disservice to this file because you've removed the guards. That's massive because now I'm looking at that whole side like that's an opening to get into your half of the field. You know what I mean? Again,
the pawn slips away.
I make all these mistakes. This is just a thought process.
A nice fork here puts both pieces under pressure.
Yeah, I jumped in.
They move their king out of the check from your queen.
Again, I could have left the queen there, but then I start the attack. The queen gets blocked in. What was my queen doing? The purpose of moving? Well, I've now stopped him from being able to castle. That's enough. Don't get greedy. Get your queen back into position. We had already done the calculations on everything else. We knew that his two pieces were out the game. So we came, we seen, we conquered, we got something. Let's get home.
Very good choice. This move lets their pieces support each other.
He was all out of ideas.
Bishop through a fork.
Then we continue with the plan.
You get a chance to attack a trapped bishop.
Knights on the rim are grim. They really are. And why do people say that? Because basically a knight, say a knight's there, it basically is going to have that much control of the board if a knight's in the center there. When you put a knight on the rim, you're taking away 50% of its ability. And that's why a knight on the rim is grim.
Black attacks a trapped piece and will win a bishop.
Again, that's trapped now. There's no immediate rush, but we know we're going to get it.
They've moved their knight closer to the
That's
center
fine.
to boost it.
We deal
Good
with
awareness keeps the queen alive here.
I don't know if
They've
this is...
Good awareness keeps the queen alive here.
I don't know if this is applicable for every scenario, but one thing I tend to learn whenever a knight is attacking my queen is the best square for it is usually putting it side by side with the queen. Yeah, it can hop back in and threaten the queen again, but if you sort of do the calculations like we did in the game, then it couldn't really go anywhere other than these squares. So again, always do the what squares can the knight go on next sort of scenario before I make my move. Oh, well, I can take it every which way apart from these two. So let's just put the queen next to it. Again, if that square wasn't there, it would have been able to jump in and take me. So it doesn't always work. But that's just one of my thought processes whenever a knight is attacking my queen.
That's not a mistake, but they did not find the best move here. Nice vision spotting and capturing that. Takes back. This move is okay, but not what I would have played. Their rooks can see each other now. This equal trade favors you because your knight was less active.
Yeah.
A clear recapture.
That, to be honest, fair play. I would have took with that as well because it basically undoubles his pawns. So, in my opinion, he took the right piece there.
You developed a piece, and they develop a new piece. Good awareness keeps the pawn. I like their choice. Good job. That's what I would have played too.
See, in this scenario, we were talking about over here, knights on the rim of grim. In this particular scenario, it done me a favour. I was coming in with the idea of hopping in it. I know it's backed by 2 pawns, so I can't really do anything. Obviously, I'm not going to jump in there. But the idea was jump in here, and then from there, it would have put him in check, and then hopefully he would have went up. And in that scenario, if I would have jumped here, it would have basically forked him, and I could have got his queen. That was the idea. We did that. Yeah, it's a bit hope chess, but it's also strategic because we're backing it. Not only that, we're threatening this piece as well, which basically that's basically a pawn. You can get the rook behind it, and you can just run that all the way down. You know what I mean? So yeah, there was plenty of reasons why to go on. I also knew that if I wanted to go on the rim there was a way out. You know what I mean? I'm not just getting stuck for no reason. So in some circumstances, you can play a knight on the rim, but just be wary of why you're doing it.
They played one of the best moves here. You are setting up your rooks to work together on one file. They made one of the top moves in this position. You pile more pressure onto the pawn with this move. Decent move, but they had a better one. This move attacks your opponent's pawn chain. That's playable. You add another attacker to the pinned pawn.
I literally, this was my thought process. Take, he takes, I take, because ultimately I would have put him in check. The only way for him to get out of that is either move out the way or take. And he's seen it coming. And like I said, my original was I was probably a couple moves too slow with that, to be honest.
This move attacks your opponent's pawn chain. Decent move. You pile more. They made one of the top moves. You pile more.
I could have done it
but
then.
They had a better one.
Could have done it then. It took me 1.
This move attacks your opponent's. That's
2.
playable. You add another attacker to the
I
pinned
was
pawn.
1 move too slow with it, but that 1 move could have been problematic because if he would have pushed forward, I would have had to take, and then all of a sudden he pushes forward and his queen's in. You know what I mean? So luckily he wasn't that good, but he was good enough to know what was coming next. And in that scenario as well, it wouldn't have been beneficial to take with the knight because ultimately it wouldn't have been threatening the queen, and it wouldn't have put him in check. I could have maybe took with the knight, and then he moved, and then tried to get some sort of fork. But I don't think that would have worked because of all the squares that he's basically covering. So just be wary in a situation like that. What move makes the most sense, and do them in the right order. Again, I'm no expert. I'm just reiterating to use like my thought process as just a basic, normal lad who's now 950 in ELO. Hopefully you can learn something from that, because ultimately, I know for me personally, I can't remember the check, is there a capture, blah de blah. I can't remember that. But what I can remember is this: you make a move. All right, why has he gone there? What's that piece doing? Well, it's back in that. What else is it? It's not really doing anything else. So I can hop in next. It'll put his queen, so he'll have to move his queen. You know what I'm saying? So whenever they do a move, always ask yourself, why have they just done that? That's it. That's all you got to remember. Why have they done that? Because automatically, after you've considered why have you done that, your automatic next thought process is, well, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? So you've already covered the checks. So yeah, that's my advice anyway. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Leave us a comment and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you on the next one. I'll try and upload every day. And I only play 30-minute rapids because I need that time to think. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.